By the way, we keep on rolling along.
We do
We
indeed.
keep on rolling along, man. NACFE.
Right, now we're going to run on less.
Yeah, I mean, who we got? We got Mike, right? Mike is
Yes,
back. Mike
sir,
Roeth
the
is
man
back.
who's stuck in the messy middle with all the rest of us.
Hey, Mike.
Hello,
Roeth.
guys.
Hey, Mike Roeth.
Hello,
Good morning.
guys.
Yeah.
It's the hot, messy middle for us right now. I'm calling you from a Schneider terminal in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh.
We're getting ready to do another one of these site visits with a international truck with an international engine, and this truck runs almost an awful lot on renewable diesel because it's availability out here in California. And so, gosh, I can't keep track. I don't know what number this is, but I think this is getting like visit 9 of 13. Or with the Windrose battery electric semi at Joyride Logistics tomorrow here in Phoenix. So starting early so we can beat this heat as much as possible, guys.
Renewable diesel, you said those two words, and every time somebody says that, Mike, it kind of pops into my head because it seems like the most overlooked asset that we have.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it's there's a lot of confusion. You have biodiesel, which, if you get over about 20%, that's challenging from, cold weather gelling to some other issues. And then renewable diesel, though, is by definition a complete drop-in fuel. It's a petro-conventional diesel. So it is a really good solution, Dave. There are very significant what they call feedstock limitations. So, as we've worked with all the experts out there that we can find, we think that, renewable diesel and biodiesel long-term could satisfy somewhere around 8% of United States heavy trucking's fuel needs. So it's not and right now it's like a tenth of 1%. So, so it could be a big part of the solution, but we just have to be careful we don't think about it as the only one because, first of all, there are some emissions that occur, NOx emissions and so forth. You got a carbon-free fuel in renewable diesel, but you still have other implications, and also, there's just not enough of the feedstocks, and also the same feedstocks or inputs to renewable diesel are the same for sustainable airline fuels, and also the fuel for locomotives and airlines and ships. So trucking is viewed as maybe an end use of these fuels that could do other things like natural gas or batteries or whatever. And so it's going to be a fight for these fuels. And I'm not sure trucking is going to get as much as many think. But having said that, 8% is still a lot. I mean, 8% of 40 billion gallons is a lot.
I think there's a mindset out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a general mindset in the transportation world that says, okay, we have all of these alternative fuels, maybe a bad term too, by the way, at this point. We have all of these alternative fuels, and as we go along through the decades, there's going to be one winner and one fuel, just like now. That's not going to happen, is it? In other words, there's no one entity that can solve all of our problems.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why diesel's been our fuel for trucking for 80 years, and that's because you can buy a $1,000 fuel tank or set of fuel tanks. You can put liquid diesel fuel in and go haul freight, and you're done. And now we're looking at, storage systems, whether it's natural gas or batteries are the most expensive storage systems in any of these. Well, hydrogen, not cheap either, but, the diesel's been very forgiving and good, and that's why it was the only solution. And so you're absolutely right. I mean, we as an industry are going to have to figure out how to deal with the complexity of these multiple alternatives. And, my big takeaway from ACT Expo in May was that, the truck builders are going to struggle each to offer all the alternatives. I think we'll end up with, if you got like here in Run on Less, we've got 4 major, we've got diesel, we've got natural gas, battery electric, and hydrogen. Hybrids are another one. So if you got like 5 significant categories of solutions, and each of the truck builders, each one's going to have to figure out, do I do all 5? And that could be difficult to design and manufacture, or do I do 2 or 3? And so that's one of the big questions going forward.
It's an issue of pre-trip planning in many ways, that a lot of companies have to kind of look at their long-term plans. They really have to kind of figure out where it is they're headed, and then look at the rest of the industry and who's succeeding with certain kinds of energy and who's failing with other kinds of energy, and to figure out if, in fact, that the specific jobs, because trucking ain't one industry. It's about 13 or 14 of them, probably more than that. But at some point, you have to begin kind of looking at what other people are doing and begin to make your plans about what kind of fuel, 1 or 2, that you're going to settle on to drive the majority of what it is you want to get accomplished. Is that fair?
And the way I think about this is we've been working on this for decades. We're built for this challenge. So what I mean by that is we now have telematics, so we know where all the trucks, each individual truck, we know where they're going, how far they're going, how fast they're driving, where they're resting, are they slip-seated and teamed or not, just on and on and on. So we have that. Secondly, we've been working on sort of this specialization and optimizing, even like for long-haul aerodynamics rather than city tractors. So we've been working on specialized configurations of different truck models. And so all of that now, my point is that a couple of decades ago, we may have looked at this as an unsolvable problem. We at NACFE view that this is solvable. We just need to look at each detailed truck, each detailed fleet, and figure out the right solution. And when we do that, we'll come out of this strong.
Mike, it's always a pleasure having you on. We're going to have to wrap up here. What are you looking forward to next week? What's coming up for you next?
Well, this week is 4 different of the 13. So we've got Henry Albert's in Detroit, where we've got a video groom there, and talking to him about how he does. He does double-digit fuel economy even when he's heavy. So he does 10 mile per gallon when he's heavy. He drives fast-ish too. Some of these hyper MPGers get criticized for going so slow. Henry doesn't go that slow. But yeah, we've got Schneider today, Joyride tomorrow with a battery electric truck that's like, I can't wait to get in it. I want to drive it tomorrow. It's a really interesting vehicle doing long haul distances. It actually has a sleeper cab, so it's not what I would call an American sleeper cab, but it's definitely a comfortable place to sleep. And then lastly, we've got a Penske in Texas. Will be there Thursday with a hydrogen fuel cell truck hauling Hyundai auto parts to dealerships around Texas. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to all of them. I mean, it's drinking from the fire hose, but, we'll do something like 50 interviews this week at those 4 sites. And these are the people that are making this stuff happen, guys. This is not like, I heard from so-and-so and heard from so-and-so and heard from. These are the drivers, the people who are making the fueling work, all that. So, and then we'll be sharing all this in August with videos and web pages and all kinds of stuff. So we're having a blast here. Hard work, but looking forward to sharing it with everybody.
Mike, we have a running bet here, and I'm going to win this thing for sure. Tara and I are going to win it. Say your last name for us.
It's actually Roeth, like taking an oath.
Yep, I win. Tara wins. I win. Mike Roeth joined us this morning.
Dave.
That's okay. I by the way, I win, Mike. I win. I so rarely win. You gave me a victory. I appreciate it. NACFE.org, by the way. Thank you so much, my friend.
Take care. Talk to you next week.